지난 7월 12일부터 20일까지 파네라이가 더 월드 오브 파네라이라는 특별 전시를 열었습니다. 파네라이의 세계라는 전시의 제목부터 굉장히 야심찬데요. 그저 신제품 몇 개만 보여주고 파네라이의 세계라는 이야기를 할 수는 없을 테고, 하나의 세계를 보여주기 위해서는 적어도 각각의 시계들이 어떤 맥락에서 탄생했는지, 그리고 지금 우리가 살아 숨쉬는 세계에서 어떻게 활용되고 있는지를 함께 보여줘야 되겠죠. 이탈리아 피렌체에서 출발한 브랜드답게 이탈리안 라이프스타일 큐레이션 플랫폼을 표방하는 두오모앤코라는 장소를 전시장으로 선택을 했습니다. 입구에서 메인 공간으로 이어지는 계단에서부터 브랜드의 기념비적 순간을 담은 사진들로 가득 채워놨습니다. 파네라이가 자랑하는 퍼페추얼 캘린더 무브먼트 P4100을 모티프로 해서 대형 오브제가 전시장의 한가운데를 차지하고 당당하게 방문객들을 맞이했고요. 이번 행사를 통해서 파네라이의 헤리티지와 혁신을 골고루 대변하는 신모델들이 공개가 됐습니다. 배우 옥태견 씨는 신제품 루미노르 DH 지오르니 GMT 모델을 착용하고 행사장에 등장하셔서 눈길을 끌었는데요. 이 밖에도 썸머저블 이룩스 랩 아이디와 썸머저블 코란타 콰트로 루나로사 T 세라믹 테크 등의 시계도 국내 시계 팬들에게 처음 인사를 건넸습니다. 모든 시계들을 방문객들이 충분한 해설과 함께 음미할 수 있도록 도슨트 투어도 마련됐고요. 파네라이의 세계에 좀 더 깊이 발을 담그고 싶어하는 VIP를 대상으로는 워치메이킹 마스터 클래스가 진행됐습니다. 특별히 내한한 본사의 워치메이커가 직접 클래스를 이끌었던 것은 물론이고요. 이 정도 되어야 파네라이의 세계라고 하는 거죠. 이번 월드 오브 파네라이에서 주목할 만한 가장 새로운 모델이라고 하면은 썸머저블 이룩스 랩 아이디를 들 수 있을 겁니다. 파네라이가 8년간의 연구개발 끝에 선보이는 야심작이라고 하는데요. 이번에는 무려 6개의 배럴과 초소형 발전기를 조합해서 시계가 배터리에 도움 없이 자체 발광할 수 있게 만들어 놨는데요. 물론 기계식 무브먼트의 동력을 전기에너지로 전환해서 LED로 다이얼을 밝히는 시계는 이전에도 있었습니다. 하지만 다른 시계들은 다이얼 가장자리에 있는 정적인 요소들에 LED를 적용했다면 이 시계는 베젤의 영분 마커와 시분 초침 같은 움직이는 파트들에까지 모두 LED를 적용했다는 점에서 독창적인 면이 있습니다. 무려 4개의 배럴을 발광 기능에 할당했기 때문에 발광의 지속 시간도 30분이 넘는데요. 8시 방향에 있는 이룩스 가드를 열어서 필요할 때마다 LED를 켜고 끌 수 있도록 했습니다. 49mm의 500m 방수 성능을 지원하는 케이스는 겉보기에는 무거워 보일지 몰라도 신소재인 T 세라믹 테크를 채택해서 무게를 획기적으로 줄였습니다. 티타늄의 표면을 단단한 세라믹 층으로 처리한 T 세라믹 테크는 스테인리스 스틸보다 44% 가볍고 일반 세라믹보다는 충격에 10배 더 강합니다. 한 해 50개만 3년에 걸쳐서 생산하는 시계라고 하는데요. 1억 4천만 원대의 높은 가격에도 불구하고 올해 생산부는 벌써 완판이 됐습니다. 파네라이의 최고 운영 책임자 제롬 카바디니 님을 영상통화로 만나서 이 시계에서 궁금했던 점을 직접 여쭤봤습니다. 오늘 영상 끝까지 시청해 주시기 바라고요. 이번 행사에서 주목할 만한 또 하나의 메인 신제품이라면은 이름도 어렵습니다. 루미노르 DH 지오르니 GMT라는 모델이 있는데요. 잘 아시다시피 1950년대에 파네라이는 안젤루스 SF240 무브먼트를 활용해서 8일의 파워 리저브를 가진 시계를 선보인 바 있습니다. 2005년 이래 인하우스 무브먼트를 연달아 발표하면서 파네라이는 이 긴 파워 리저브를 자신들의 정체성으로 삼았는데요. 11의 파워 리저브를 과시하는 루미노르 DH 지오르니 GMT 모델은 P2003 인하우스 칼리버를 장착한 오랜만의 신제품이라는 점에서 특히 반가운 시계입니다. P2003은 파네라이의 심플한 레이아웃은 지키면서도 GMT 기능과 파워 리저브 인디케이터를 성공적으로 통합시켰습니다. 덕분에 첫 선을 보인 지 20년이 다 돼가는 무브먼트임에도 여전히 파네라이 마니아들 사이에서 평가가 높은 엔진입니다. 홈타임 시침과 GMT 침이 모두 12시간마다 한 바퀴를 돈다는 게 파네라이 GMT의 특징인데요. 덕분에 다이얼에 별도의 24시간 표시를 넣지 않고도 2개의 시간대를 한눈에 파악할 수 있습니다. 대신에 낮과 밤을 파악하기 힘들다는 단점은 9시 방향 스몰 세컨즈에 통합된 오전 오후 인디케이터를 통해서 보완을 했습니다. 6시 방향의 게이지처럼 생긴 파워 리저브 인디케이터를 통해서 다이얼의 대칭을 깨지 않으면서 직관적으로 동력의 잔량을 파악할 수도 있겠고요. 4Hz의 일반적인 진동수에도 불구하고 3개의 배럴을 활용해서 무려 열흘간의 파워 리저브를 자랑하는 시계입니다. 정확한 시간 세팅을 돕는 세컨드 리셋 기능도 매우 유용한데요. 이 시계는 크라운을 2단계까지 빼면은 초침이 즉각적으로 0으로 리셋이 됩니다. 익숙한 무브먼트를 쓰는 리바이벌이라기보다는 새 모델에 알맞는 적절한 변주도 이루어진 제대로 된 신모델입니다. 이탈리아 정체성을 더 강조했다는 게 인상적인데요. 다이얼의 프린트에는 10days라는 영어식 표현 대신에 DH 지오른이라는 이탈리아어를 활용해서 브랜드의 문화적 정체성을 강조한 걸 볼 수 있죠. 그리고 오전 오후 인디케이터와 GMT 침에는 오렌지색 액센트를 부여해서 가독성도 지난 세대에 비해서 보완을 했습니다. 100m 방수를 지원하는 44mm의 케이스는 전체가 폴리싱이 되어 있는데요. 케이스의 두께도 이전 세대보다 최소 1에서 2mm 정도 얇아졌기 때문에, 그리고 또 블루 선브러시드 다이얼을 매칭을 시켰기 때문에 다크블루 엘리게이터 스트랩이 함께 이렇게 어우러져서 다른 루미노르에 비해서 좀 더 모던하고 드레시한 인상을 줍니다. 러버 스트랩을 추가로 제공하기 때문에 줄질의 매력을 느낄 수 있다는 것도 강점인데요. 가격은 4년 전에 같은 무브먼트를 쓰는 시기가 1,600만원대였는데 이번에는 2,000만원대까지 올랐습니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 최근에 시계들의 가파른 가격 인상을 생각했을 때, 그리고 또 이 무브먼트의 강점을 생각했을 때 충분히 투자할 만한 가치가 있는 시계가 아닌가 싶네요. 파네라이에서 가장 매력적이라고 손꼽히는 인하우스 무브먼트는 이렇게 멋진 귀환을 알렸습니다. 자, 그러면은 서두에서 약속드린 대로 파네라의 최고 운영 책임자인 제롬 카바디니님을 모시고 새로 선보이는 서머저블 이룩스 레바이디에 대해서 궁금한 것들을 확인해보는 시간을 가져보겠습니다. I'm very pleased to talk about the latest innovation from Panerai with you. First, please tell us about yourself and your role at Panerai.
So I'm in charge of operations at Panerai. So operations means from development to customer service, including quality, production, supply chain, information systems, IT, and that kind of thing. So it's a mix of production flows, development thing, and also distribution and customer service. So it's a super diverse job that I love because I do it since now 13 years. So I'm an old guy in the company, but I'm still in love with the brand because Panerai has a perfect size as a company. We are 750 worldwide, but only 220 at the manufacturer. So to me, the size is also the good one.
I think we are ready to talk about the latest innovation from Panerai, but customers may not be familiar with the term eLux. Can you explain what eLux is and why it is significant within the context of Panerai's historical roots?
If you don't mind, I will share some visuals to just let it make it a little bit more clear. So eLux refers to a word and a brand name deposited by Panerai 1966. It has also been used to produce this torque, so this lamp that you see on the picture. It was an eLux lamp. So Panerai at that stage in the 60s was working on luminescence in general, and not only on dials. That's the reason why they made these lamps. And they also worked on different panels, mixing phosphor powders and different others to illuminate panels. These panels were used on aircraft and helicopter carriers, but also in different military devices. So eLux is more like a tribute to the past, but in the modern product, in the modern expression of it, there is few things, honestly, that we embedded in the latest watch. But it's more like saying it's a continuity. Panerai has always been interested in luminescence because the watches were used in very tough operation condition, and that was always something meaningful for us.
What inspired Panerai to integrate eLux technology into its mechanical movement?
To us, the key points is how to transmit mechanical energy and transform it into electrical energy. So we want to be able to illuminate a dial, but not only a dial, as you will see later, but no battery. That's what the starting point of everything. Are we able to illuminate the dial plus hands and bezel without having any battery inside. So mechanical energy, because as you know, Panerai never made quartz watches, and we probably will never do. So I don't say never, because never say never. But as far as I know, and I have the 5 years plan in movements ahead of me, so I know that there is no project on that. So it took us 8 years to imagine a product, embedded different patterns. One is the raw material, one is embedded in the hands, and one in the pressure buttons, and one in the bezel. I will deep dive a little bit. The key point of this is to use the movement, the base movement. So we started, and just keep the night view, and the push up button, because all this you probably already know, and we will come back if you wish. Let me just go to the movement. So that's the winding mechanism of a P9010, more or less, let's say less, but the winding mechanism basically is more or less the same. So the first two barrels that you see here are to rewind the movement, so 3 days, basically. The automatic oscillating weight here has been reinforced, ball bearings as well, because it's a much heavier oscillating weight to be able to rewind these 4 different barrels here. So these ones are the ones providing energy to the micro generator. So basically at the beginning, you can rewind it from the crown or just by wearing the watch, and you have to charge these 6 barrels. That's starting point. Then, from the barrels that you see here, top right, you have a different gear train and wheels going down to this micro generator. So you see here these 6 bobbins, we say in French, of copper wire that will convert the mechanical energy into a light signal. Okay, so from here on, it's electric and no longer mechanical torque. And from this space here inside the watch, we go to distribute it. And that's, to me, one very interesting thing, because you have to go through the case, through the middle case here, through this tube, to excite the LEDs that are embedded in the bezel. So all these LEDs that you see here in green, they will switch on after you have pushed the button. But we don't want to illuminate all of them. We would lose energy. So the key point is to be able to illuminate just a dot at 12 o'clock here. And when you rotate the bezel, the light has to switch on at the right moment. So we have here a system, and that's one of the patents, able to excite at the moment the bezel rotates. The 4 or 5 LEDs just informed that the dot is coming, so they just light on demand. And then here you have another master thing. This tube here is waterproof. So the electric power go through it, because below the bezel you could get water, right? A rotating bezel is not waterproof by definition. So we had to invent something able to go through it and maintain this electrical power. And then, so you have here a view on this tube. You have 4 different gaskets here. Wow. Just to prevent the water to go into the middle case and the movement. And here you have this protecting tube full of different elements, including a glass tube, to make sure that the electrical power is secured and is protected from external elements. Then it's also a matter of illuminating the hands. And here, once again, it was not that easy, because you had to go through the movement, through the module, through the dial, and then through the tubes. So we developed here a kind of specific tube with a metallic element able to illuminate these 5 LEDs that you see here. This is the hour hand, but same for the minute hand. So on request, these 5 LEDs will just illuminate the inside part of the hand, which is emptied, let me say, and full of green SLNX2 to just offer this light back to the client. So this was also a tricky point, because we could not use wires. Would have been easy to have wires everywhere, but the hands are turning night and day. So at the end, you're blocked one day. So we said, okay, we have to invent something that illuminates the hands, even though they are turning all the way around. So finally, it looks like a simple thing, but trust me, 8 years of work, it's not nothing. it's an incredible result for us, resumed here in a simple image. So a base movement with a super automatic oscillating weight, a module including the micro generator plus a power reserve here in the middle, then a dial. So dial is excited the same with LEDs, but it's fixed. I would say it's the most easiest. And then you have all the rotating system and the bezel on top of it. So at the end, to me, this is one of the most complicated things we ever did.
So the mixture of electric power with rotating bezel looks quite amazing. And now I can get that why it took more than 8 years to develop this new movement. I understand that this new product is already the fourth creation of the Lab ID since 2017.
In a sense that everything starts from something new. So a Lab ID has to embed innovations by definition. So it's not a dial animation. We like to mix different themes and have also cases elements and movements elements to combine together. When it came out with the eLab ID, so the recycled one, we tried to push the project beyond the limits and recycled dial, hands, superluminova, everything. So it has to combine different elements, both cases and movements. It's supposed to embed patterns, but useful patterns. I want to be clear. It's just to put patterns because honestly, we could do this every day just to protect the business, but it's not meaningful. What we want to do at Panerai is to protect our IP in a clever way and just full of mean. Because we don't want to block the watch business. We just want to protect our best ideas, and that's the way we patent the thing. So yes, Lab ID is a bit different because it involves also the innovation team. Innovation team is a team of 3 people. Of course, they have some project ongoing on let me say, current collection. They work a little bit on the recycled steel, for instance, or things like this. But they mainly work on things that will never happen. So they have a scrap rate, let me say, of something like 60 to 70%. They come out with new ideas, new materials. We have meetings with Jean-Marc Pontroué every on innovation. It's three times a year. It's last 3, 4, 5 hours, and we come out with everything. We put everything on the table, and we say, "Look, Jean-Marc, we could do this. Combined with this, what do you think?" And he said, "No, yes, this, no, this, yes, this, no." Then we try, and out of 10 ideas, maybe only 2, 3 become a product. It's a bit different than for the standard collection, where we have to have a better success rate, let me say, otherwise the company would go bankrupt.
Is the Lab ID structured as an independent team within Panerai, or does it operate within a specific division or department?
It starts with the innovation guys, these 3 that you could meet if you come and visit us. And then it goes when the product is mature or when the ID has to be now machined, then it goes into the regular flow for development. So we dedicate a project team leader and a guy that, because at the end you have to have it produced by suppliers, sometimes specific, but sometimes also regular suppliers. It's not always like we go to Japan or US to find incredible suppliers. Sometimes yes, sometimes it's here. So then the flow is the same for watches. But for the Lab ID, Elux Lab ID, Alexandre Michalet, the guy who managed the project, he started from innovation and he went through all the project because it was so complicated that a normal project manager would not have been able to achieve it, I guess. So it was an exception on this.
Exceptional. And the new product features not only a new luminescent technology, but also a new case material. What is the reasoning behind choosing T-Ceramtech over other materials? You have Carbotech or Bronzo and other things.
T-Ceramtech is interesting because it's blue. Mainly having a raw material, a blue raw material, you could get it. I mean, blue ceramic exists for years. It has been developed already, but ceramic has certain nice property, but it breaks. T-Ceramtech is super robust. It resists to fraction when it comes to shocks, and we love this grainy surface. So this grainy surface plus this blue color that is the link with the sea and the water, we found it really super cool. And I've been wearing a watch, a Luna Rossa, not an Elax, all the spring. And honestly, it's really cool. It's light, a bit rough, and blue. So it's something that offers new alternatives when it comes to design.
Perhaps this question is too early, but is Panerai planning to expand the use of, how can I call it, mechanical e-looks technology to other collections?
That's what Jean-Marc asked us last month, saying, "Okay, guys, well done. We made a small celebration with the coffee and he said, okay, that's really an achievement. Well done, guys." And he was super positive. And then immediately, okay, can we get light in all the collections? So we said, okay, let's try. Because this is the idea. So it's like a bit like Formula One. In Formula One, they have a lot of innovation, but a few of them go into the regular collection, like in your, I don't know if you drive a Volkswagen or a Toyota or whatever, but it starts from high competitive environment like Formula One, like the way the brakes have been modified in the past, the way the cars have been built for security. This all comes from the sport automotive. So we could also consider that this is a Formula One, and from this, what could we use in the regular collection? Here, the enigma or maybe the challenge is that module takes place. And of course, if we would agree to have a battery, we could do a lot of things fulfilling this battery and then activate on demand light and on and off. Is it Panerai? Is it us? That's another story. So we are currently having some brainstorm meetings inside the team to see what could be the best proposal, because luminosity will forever be a topic at Panerai.
So looking ahead, are there possibilities of potential innovation that Panerai is exploring to further integrate heritage-inspired elements into its technical advancement?
Yes, definitely. We have a guy here called Damien. He's in charge of innovation, so he's an innovation leader, and he's also part of the Patrimony Heritage Committee. And this committee, built with a mix of old generations and new ones, is very active in looking back to the past. And it's very funny to see that in 1912, we had some wave guides patented. In the 30s, also some tank level indicators, devices. So yes, it's an infinite source of inspiration, honestly. That's not just marketing blah blah. We really have a look on it. We have some museum watches that we also like to have in hand and touch and dismantle to understand what they did, because the former Panerai company was very innovative. So yes, definitely the answer is yes. And we are working now on two nice things that unfortunately I cannot disclose because it's a bit too early. But next Watches and Wonders, you will see something very, very interesting and connected to the past and to the power reserve. So things that you will probably appreciate. And we have the next Lab ID now starting. So we'll be Jean-Marc would have to have it in 2 years, probably will be more like 3. But it's also a mix of a lot of elements from the past and from the future combined in a watch. So that's really the coolest part of the job, I would say.
Can you say whether it is about movement or the look of watch?
That's too. The new Lab ID is a mix of. Oh wow, how to say it? It's a mix of history and science fiction. Honestly,
Science fiction.
so something that nobody ever did, that breaks the borders by far. You know what is interesting? I don't know if you are interested in athletic competition, but when you had all these competition about the 100 meters running, the borders of the 10 seconds, and then one day was 9:79, then Usain Bolt went and it was 9:62. But that's always like marginal gains. On this one, the gain will not be marginal. It's like if we run in 5 seconds. So I'm looking forward to present it in, let's say, 3 years.
Yeah, I'm more than excited. Okay.
Let's have you here in Neuchâtel the day we display it, because it's I mean, 3 years is tomorrow when it comes to complications.
This year marked the 10th anniversary of Panerai manufacture in Neuchâtel. As someone who has been involved since the establishment of the manufacture, how would you describe the evolution of this facility over the past decades?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, we have a nice celebration on August the 24th. We will invite the family of the people working there. Yeah, it has really changed from the inside, because when we started, we were continuing something that we were already doing, assembling movements and watches that we were already doing. But the new point from day one consisted in producing cases and movements as well. So not only being a company that assembles, but a company that produces, and that changes everything. So I would say that the first milestone, the first 6-7 years, were really dedicated to integrate bronzo, titanium, the MLS, 3D printed, steel, carbon, and also skeleton plates, bridges, from complicated movements. So that has been make us busy for the first 6, 7, 8 years, because at that time we were still using some ETA movements, which is no longer the case. So yes, it changed a lot the mindset of the people. Being a producer means a lot of different things.
From your standpoint, what is the biggest achievement from that manufacturer during the past decade?
So there are different ways of evaluating if we did well or not. I would say something of which I'm proud of is the fact that people stay with us average 10 years. It means that they're happy working for Panerai, that every day is a bit different from the day before, and that they always take pleasure and have fun in working at Panerai. But that's more like on the human side. And when it comes to products, I would say that Elux is the masterpiece that we did, because it looks like just technique, but in fact it's also watchmaking, and that was really difficult. But I could also mention the perpetual calendar, the minute repeater. I mean, we did a lot of things because we are known as a brand with very clean dials, hour, minute, second, and sometimes date, and that's the daily business. But aside of this, we also do incredible things that are not that known, maybe, as the PAM 1312, the bestseller Luminor Marina, but still we do it. So I would say that is human product, and then we try also but we're not done. We are always looking for improvement. I mean, on the quality side, we want to do still better. I think we are good, but there are some ways of improving the processes, the products, the controls. On this, I think we still have a way to go on. So yeah, I have a lot of it's mixed feeling. I never had this question, so sorry for the answer is a bit long, but it's a mix of a lot of flavors.
Do you have special message to Korean readers of GMT magazine?
Well, honestly, what I would dream of is to have them all here. We open the visits to the public, and the best way, because storytelling is a fantastic thing, and thanks to the media, thanks to you, our wording goes to their ears. But the best demonstration we could do is to have them here, open the doors, and discover what we do, and then get their feedback as well. Because, okay, social media and Instagram and both, you can read what they think, but it's not a serious conversation. My message would be, if you travel in Europe at any moment, please get in touch with us, because we can welcome you on board, have you for 2-3 hours visit, and explain what we do, because we are so passionate that we want to transmit this.
Actually, some of my teammates visited Panerai facilities this year during the Watches and Wonders. So I can guarantee that it will be very exciting.
Yeah, the feedback was positive.
Yeah, it was really positive, and they were more than excited. One of my teammates told me it was one of the best experiences he's ever experienced.
Okay, good. That's perfect. But then the GMT readers could also subscribe and come.
Yeah, you should do it, my viewers. Okay. Thank you for your time and answering my questions really thoroughly, and yeah, I really appreciate
Okay.
it. And I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to see you in person,
Yes.
perhaps at the Watches and Wonders next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So enjoy
Thank
the
you
end
so
of the
much.
day and see you soon.
See you soon. Have a great time.